The immense adoption of the iPhone means that it kind of speaks for itself. We always expect Apple to push the envelope in both hardware and software, and the iPhone SIXS is no exception. However, Apple's design overhaul on the previous year's iPhone 6 and 6 Plus means that the current SIXS is more so an incremental update. Still, there is plenty to be excited about. One of the new standout features is 3D Touch. As implied, screen input can be differentiated by the pressure of the user's touch. Apple utilizes the ability for actions/shortcuts throughout the UI. For instance, pressing on a message in Mail shows a preview, and pressing harder opens the message. Apple dubs this dynamic peek and pop, and it works in various applications. Another action is pressing on a map pin to quickly launch the directions. The iPhone SIXS and SIXS Plus designs are splitting images of their predecessors, but there's plenty of changes under the surface. They're now built from a stronger aluminum, 7000 series, and more resistant against bending. The Apple A9 processor is faster, but still dual-core, and has an extra gig of RAM, at 2 GB. The front camera received a much-needed upgrade from the iPhone 6s Pour 1.2MP selfie shooter to 5MP. The primary camera had a modest bump from 8MP to 12MP. The displays remain the same, 4.7, 750x 1334 pixels, on the SIXS and 5.5, 1080p, on the SIXS Plus. For some reason, the battery capacities were slightly reduced 1810 mAh to 1715 mAh from the iPhone 6 to SIXS, and 2915 mAh to 2750 mAh from the iPhone 6 Plus to SIXS Plus. Apple also rolled out a new rose gold color. BlackBerry surprised us all when the company decided to dump its homebrewed operating system for Android. The phone maker has been struggling, so this might be what it needs to remain relevant. You can sense that effort when you pick up the Prive. It's refined, well built, fits nicely in the hand, and has a couple of cool tricks up its sleeve. First, the Prive is the only current Android handset that you can get with a physical keyboard. The orientation is not landscape, like the physical keyboard sliders of yesteryear. The Prive's screen raises up in portrait mode to reveal BlackBerry's signature keys on the bottom. Sure, the keys are small, but if you've owned a BlackBerry handset before, you should be right at home. Next, the Prive's 5.4 screen, AMOLED panel with QHD resolution, subtly curves around the sides. The effect is similar to Samsung's Galaxy Edge phones. It's a nice touch that adds an aesthetic appeal to the phone's otherwise standard frame. The Prive's primary camera is at a whopping 18MP and uniquely uses Schneider-Kreuznach optics. The rest of the specs keep up with the high-end Android pack. Snapdragon 808 chipset, like on the LG G4 NV10, 3GB of RAM, 32GB internal storage with microSD expansion up to 200GB, and a considerately sized 3410 mAh battery. If you were a fan of BlackBerry's software, don't fret. On top of Android 5.1.1, Lollipop, you'll find BlackBerry's multitude of applications, BBM, Calendar, Contacts, Notes, Tasks, etc., and BlackBerry Hub. Additionally, the Prive comes with BlackBerry's Security and Privacy Protection, DTEK. The Nexus line has a fanbase for a reason. There's just something about a pure, unaltered Android experience, not just because you get the very latest version of Android, but because it's the smoothest. When you pick up the Nexus 6P for the first time, you'll notice the UI's fluidity and realize that despite of the advancement of hardware, Android still gets bogged down by third-party UIs. Spec-wise, Nexus phones have traditionally fell short of the very best Android flagships, but it's getting better. Google's latest attempt was through a partnership with Huawei. The Nexus 6P rocks a full-sized 5.7 display, AMOLED panel and QHD resolution, Snapdragon 810 octa-core processor, hefty 3450 mAh battery, dual front-facing speakers, and slim metal build. Historically, the camera performance of Nexus phones have left to be desired, but Google hopes that's a thing of the past with the 6P. We're looking at a Sony IMX377 sensor with a special feature, large 155 MP pixels. Larger pixels can capture more light, so Google is targeting those tricky low-light situations that always seem to ruin our pictures. We also have Auto HDR Plus in the camera software this time, missing from the previous Nexus 6, so the 6P is now well equipped to compete with the best of the best. There are 4 color flavors to choose from: aluminum, graphite, frost, or gold. There's no microSD expansion, so make sure that you're conscious of how much storage space you use when deciding among the 32GB, 64GB, or 128GB options. LG did a great thing with the V10. It basically took the G4 from earlier in the year and souped it up, while still staying true to its ideals of a removable battery and microSD expansion. You'll see similarity in the design but not so much in the materials. LG enhances grip with a textured, rubbery back cover, removable, and rounded metal rails on the sides. The V10 is a large phone, but these ergonomic considerations help the handling considerably. 2 unique features separate the V10 from the rest of the pack. One is an additional, independent display, 2.1, above the phone's primary display, 5.7. Dubbed second screen, it provides helpful functions that complements the Android experience. Some of these are favorite apps or contacts lists, recent apps, music controls, and calendar events. It also serves as an always-on screen that shows weather, date, time, and battery information. Notifications, like emails and phone calls, pop up on the second screen as they happen. The other feature is dual front cameras. LG did this to give the selfie taker the option between a standard or wide-angle lenses. Otherwise, the V10 has the same bang-in specs from the G4, hexa-core Snapdragon 808 chipset, 16MP primary camera, f/1.8 aperture lens, 64GB base storage, microSD expandable, 3000 mAh battery, replaceable. There were a couple notable upgrades, although the memory was bumped up to 4GB of RAM, and there's an onboard Saber Hi-Fi DAC, digital to analog converter, to pump out high-quality audio to headphones. The Droid line has historically been a staple in the Android world. Despite the branding getting quieter over the years, Verizon and Motorola are still holding their ground with the Droid Turbo series. What I like about Droids is that they always manage to come up with something cool and unique, and the Turbo 2 is no exception. The front and center feature is the shatterproof glass. For the first time ever, a manufacturer guarantees that the phone's screen will not break. The Shatter Shield technology is a multi-layer reinforcement around a flexible AMOLED panel. The display is 5:4 in size and has a QHD resolution. Otherwise, the Turbo 2 shares a lot of similarities with Motorola's latest Moto X, Pure Edition. We have a high-end Snapdragon 810 octa-core chipset, 3GB of RAM, 32GB or 64GB of internal storage, expandable via microSD up to 2TB, 21MP rear and 5MP front cameras, and Android 6.0, Marshmallow. The battery capacity is much larger than the Moto X Pure Edition, at a whopping 3760 mAh, and it has Qi wireless charging support. The Turbo 2 still comes in that sweet ballistic nylon material. The predecessor's metallized glass fiber option is gone, but in its place there's a soft grip, rubbery backing, or Horween leather. Additionally, buyers can now utilize Motorola's online Moto Maker tool to customize the aesthetics of their phone. You've seen Samsung's new Galaxy S entries on our list, but we can't exclude Samsung's latest phabled offering. The Galaxy Note line holds dear in the hearts of many Android fans. It led the big phone revolution. The Note 5 took the most drastic change in the Note series, due to Samsung's new design overhaul in 2015. Gone is the plastic build and removable back cover. A rounded metal frame is now flanked by glass panels on the front and back of the phone, for a look that is as premium as they come. Samsung's homebrewed Super AMOLED panel is the star of the show, QHD resolution. The Korean manufacturer refines the display quality at each iteration, and the Note 5 can boast about having the best large screen in the phabled arena. The Note's renowned stylus also gets a worthy refinement. It now pops out of its silo with a click, when you press on it. On the software side, Samsung cleverly added the ability to save notes without even turning the phone on. Pull the stylus out and go straight to writing. The note gets automatically saved when you put the stylus back. Samsung carries over core specs from the Galaxy S6, such as the octa-core Exynos 7420 processor and 16MP f/1.9 primary camera. However, the RAM got a slight bump to 4GB and the battery capacity jumped to 3000 mAh, non-removable. Storage choices are between 32GB/64GB/128GB, with unfortunately no microSD expansion like on previous notes. The Note 5's color variations are black sapphire, gold platinum, silver titan, and white pearl, but bear in mind that your options depends on market and carrier availability. Samsung has just launched a flagship duo, the Galaxy S7 and S7 Edge. Galaxy phones are known to be of the best Android smartphones out there. Samsung always packs in leading components. Therefore, one of these two phones must be one of your considerations if you're on the smartphone hunt. You'll be in familiar territory if you've seen last year's Galaxy S6 or S6 Edge, but that doesn't mean that the new phones aren't compelling. Samsung addressed many of the concerns that the revamped design introduced. Namely, microSD expansion and water/dust proofing make a return, from the Galaxy S5 in 2014. Samsung also saw a few benefits in making the phone slightly thicker. Handleability is improved, more grip on the sides, and the battery can be larger. Battery life was a common complaint last year. The camera module also received a refinement. A drop in megapixel count may look like a downgrade, from 16MP last year to 12MP, but a camera's efficiency isn't just determined by megapixels. The pixels can now be larger, at 14M, as opposed to a more standard 12M size, to capture more light in low-light situations. The infamous camera hump on the back of the phone could also be significantly reduced. Additionally, Samsung developed a dual-pixel system, which allows every pixel in the sensor to assist with auto-focusing, making it lightning fast. Otherwise, you're looking at the typical upgrade to the latest chipset. This year, Qualcomm Snapdragon 820 system on a chip, social, is the new hotness, coupled with 4GB of RAM. You have two screen size choices, 5:1 in the standard Galaxy S7 and 5:5 in the curvy Galaxy S7 Edge. Both panels have QHD resolution, 2560x1440 pixels, and Samsung's latest Super AMOLED screen. Additionally, the latest version of Android is running the show, Android 6.0.1, Marshmallow, and the newest iteration of Samsung's TouchWiz user interface, UI.